Greetings to everyone, wherever you're listening to this from. I want to welcome you to this channel, SAMVIC TV. My name is Mr. Patrick Ueneche. I will be presenting some few valuable lessons for warriors. I am a sickle cell warrior for over 4 decades now and still counting. I want to motivate a lot of my fellow sickle cell warriors and families suffering from sickle cell anemia disorder that sickle cell is not a death sentence if it's properly managed. I want all warriors not to feel stigmatized despite the way the society treats sickle cell patients. So moving on, we'll be looking at the introduction, what sickle cell is all about, my story and testimony, valuable lessons, healthy habits, crisis prevention, know your genotype for intending couples, a few statistics of the prevalence of sickle cell going by different region, as well as concluding this. Stay tuned, and thank you for taking out your time to join this channel and to listen to this. It will be of great pleasure to us if you can share this to people who might be interested or who might need it. Warriors, families, this can be of tremendous help. Thank you, and God bless you as you do that. First, let me give you a brief introduction of what sickle cell is all about. It's a genetic blood disorder that affects the red blood cells' ability to carry oxygen throughout the body. Sickle cell is a chronic disease. If you see this diagram here, this is the hemoglobin, the normal blood, the hemoglobin A. It comes in a round shape. But for the hemoglobin S, which is the sickle cell, it comes in a sickle form or a curve shape, causing serious pain episode when it travels through the bone marrow or if there is a blockage. Sickle cell is known as a chronic illness that affects millions of people worldwide. This particularly prevalent in the sub-Saharan Africa. I am from Nigeria, a part of sub-Saharan Africa, where it is estimated that 2 to 3% of newborns are affected. This is a little story and testimony about myself. I was wrongly diagnosed twice from 2 teaching hospitals in the country, and later diagnosed at the age of 13 as a sickle cell patient. In 2005, I was diagnosed of septic arthritis of both knees, which was separated, and I bedridden for 3 years. Eventually, I lost my 2 knees as a result of that because there was a poor management. So I walk with the aid of a walking frame. Growing up, I had to endure the constant pain and discomfort of this disease, constant hospitalization in and out. Pain has never been pain has always been something I never get used to, despite the fact that I've lived with this for years. The pain comes in different formats, in different fashion. I missed out on many activities that other kids my age were doing. I was given some kind of exemption letters during my early days in high school of to avoid fatigue and strenuous exercises. But despite all this, I never gave up. I never allowed my disease to define me as well. Moving forward to 2022, I was diagnosed with meningioma of the tentorium, a brain tumor, which was later operated sometime September last 2022 using an radio surgical procedure. And to God be the glory, I'm alive. Everything went successful. I refuse to let it hold me back. This sickness has never one day held me back. I am always determined. It cannot stop me from pursuing my dreams. I was fortunate to have supportive families and medical teams who helped me along the way. And moving on, these are a few valuable lessons I feel like we share with warriors and warriors family, the sickle cell patients, and families suffering from sickle cell disorder. I must be honest, throughout my journey as a sickle cell warrior, I've learned a ton of valuable lessons I really like to share with you all today. Here are a few of them. In pursuing this, tip number one, while living with a chronic illness, you don't need to be afraid to ask for help. You need to be bold to seek for assistance at any time. A chronic illness can be tough, and it's okay to ask for help when you need it. Do all you can to see that you get help from health care professionals, friends, family. There is no shame in seeking for support when you are going through a lot of pains. Tip number two, you must stay positive. You have to maintain a positive attitude. You have to do all you can to surround yourself with happy people who will uplift you. A positive attitude can go a long way in helping you cope with the challenges of living with a chronic illness. So you cannot do without happy people around you who will help you uplift your spirit and keep you positive-minded. Number three, you must not fail to take care of yourself. How do you take care of yourself? By eating healthy diet, getting enough rest, and staying physically active. It also means taking your medication as prescribed by your doctor and keeping up with your medical appointment. It's very important. Hematologists are not always happy with sickle cell patients who don't keep up with their medical appointments. You must always see your hematologist in order to help you while you go through a proper maintenance. Number four, you have to be an advocate for yourself. Being an advocate for yourself will help you go a long way. First, you have to speak out, ask questions concerning your health. Medications that you react to, don't hesitate to speak out about it. You must learn much about what you are going through. Learn to know more about sickle cell and available treatments for sickle cell disorder. You don't have to be afraid to speak up. You need to be an advocate for yourself, or else you continue to face a lot of challenge. So you have to keep your head up. Be bold. Number 5, never give up. Living with a chronic illness can be a daily struggle. It is advised that you keep pushing. Never give up on your dreams. But it is important to remember that there is always hope. In all you do, have a hope and determination in order to continue pushing. Healthy habits is what we'll be talking next. What are the healthy habits you need to do? You have tip 1, you have to follow a nutritious diet. Then tip 2, you have to stay hydrated. How do you follow a nutritious diet? Eating a healthy and balanced diet is crucial for individuals with sickle cell anemia. A diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins can provide essential nutrients and help support overall health. It is necessary to include foods such as leafy greens, beans, fortified cereals, as lack of these meals can increase or worsen symptoms of anemia. Additionally, staying hydrated by drinking plenty of water, which is the next tip we'll be going on. Avoid sugary drinks. It is essential to prevent dehydration, which can trigger sickle cell crisis, which is the pain episode. Drinking adequate amount of water is essential for individuals with sickle cell, and that's why you have to stay hydrated always. Proper hydration helps to prevent the sickle cell ship red blood cells from becoming sticky and clumping together, which can lead to painful episode known as crisis. Drinking plenty of fluids, essential water can help keep the blood flow smoothly and reduce the risk of crisis. Avoid extreme temperature as well. Extreme temperature, both hot and cold, can trigger sickle cell crisis. Then we have the crisis prevention. How do we prevent ourselves from not having crisis as a sickle cell warrior or a sickle cell disordered patient? First, you have to manage stress. Secondly, it's coming again, avoid extreme temperature. Third, you have to stay hydrated. These are the most important crisis prevention that everyone thinks about. Stress can exacerbate sickle cell symptoms and increase the likelihood of a crisis. Finding an effective way to manage and reduce stress is essential. It is also essential and great for you to develop and engage yourself in some relaxation techniques such as deep breathing exercise, meditation, and yoga. Establish a support networks of friends, family, and support group who can provide emotional support and understanding for you as well. Emotional support, emotional stress also can lead to crisis. Speaking from experience. Extreme temperature, both hot and cold, can trigger a sickle cell crisis. It's important to avoid prolonged exposure to extreme temperature. They say too much of everything is bad. So in a hot weather, stay cool by seeking shade, using fans and air conditioning, and wearing light shirts, lightweight and breathable clothing. In cold weather, dress warmly, in layers, and protect yourself from chilling winds. Maintaining a comfortable temperature can help prevent the narrowing of blood vessels and reduce the risk of a crisis. Stay hydrated. Proper hydration is crucial for preventing sickle cell crisis. It helps keep the blood flowing smoothly and prevents the sickle cell ship, red blood cells, from clumping together and causing blockage in the blood vessels. So it is good to drink plenty of fluids, especially water, throughout the day to maintain good hydration. Avoid excessive caffeine and alcohol as they can contribute to dehydration. Yes, moving on. For intending couples, it is Good. And very important to know your genotype. To avoid the risk of sickle cell disease in offspring, it is important for both parents to have specific genotype. Sickle cell disease is inherited in an autosomal recessive manner, which means that both copies of the hemoglobin gene, which I talked about earlier, must carry the sickle cell traits for an individual to have the disease. Here are the matching genotypes that can help avoid sickle cell disease. AA genotype, individuals with this genotype are known to be the normal hemoglobin gene genotype. It is the hemoglobin HbA and are said to have the AA genotype. They do not carry the sickle cell traits and are not at risk of passing on sickle cell disease to their children. But we have the individuals with AS genotype. This genotype has one normal hemoglobin gene, which is the HB, and one sickle cell gene, which is the HBS. And I say to have the AS genotype. They carries of the sickle cell traits, but do not have the disease themselves. When two individuals with AS genotype have children, there is a 25% chance of having a child with sickle cell disease, SS genotype, a 50% chance of having a child who is a carrier, AS genotype, and a 25% of having a child with normal hemoglobin, AA genotype. So, therefore, to avoid the risk of sickle cell disease in orphans, both parents should ideally have the AA genotype. However, if one parent has the AS genotype, which is the carrier or the traits, and the other parent has the AA genotype, non-carrier, their children will all be carriers of sickle cell traits, AS genotype, but will not have the disease itself, which is advisable. It is also important to know that genetic counseling and testing can provide more accurate and personalized information regarding the specific risks and options for individuals with sickle cell traits or sickle cell disease who are planning to have children. Statistics. The statistics on the prevalence of sickle cell traits vary depending on the geographical region and population studied. Here are some general statistics regarding individuals having the sickle cell traits. A global prevalence. Sickle cell traits most commonly found in populations with African, Mediterranean, and Middle East, South Asian, and Caribbean heritage. It is estimated that about 5 to 7% of the world's population carries the sickle cell traits. What is 5 to 7%? If the world is 7 billion today, so the 7 billion population, 5% of the 7 billion population is 350 million, which is a lot. Now, in the United States, the sickle cell trait is more prevalent among African Americans, and it is estimated that about 8% to 10% of African Americans have sickle cell traits, and it's also found in other ethnic groups. Those of Hispanic, South Asian, and Mediterranean descent. Sub-Saharan Sub-Saharan Africa also have sickle cell traits, and is highly prevalent in Sub-Saharan, where it is estimated that up to 30% of the population carries the traits. The high prevalence is due to the historical geographic distribution of also malaria has its own effect on it, and as the sickle cell traits provides some protection against malaria. Other regions. Sickle cell traits is also found in other regions, including the Middle East, Mediterranean countries, and part of India and South Asia. The prevalence varies among this population, but generally range from 1% to 30%. Conclusion. So this is the conclusion of all our slides. That This was just a basic research done for the purpose of this presentation. So it's the conclusion will guide you that you're not going to take it. If there are things that are conflicting, you can actually ask a medical protection professional to help you carry out the proper information, to give out the proper information required. Remember, it is important for individuals with sickle cell anemia to work closely with their healthcare team to develop a personalized care center that addresses their specific needs and circumstances. So their habits should be implemented in consultation with a healthcare professional. The prevention strategies may vary from person to person, and it's important to consult with your healthcare provider for personalized advice and recommendations tailored to your specific situation. And also, it is important to know that the genetic counseling and testing can provide more accurate and personalized information regarding the specific risks and options for individuals with sickle cell traits for seeking sickle cell disease who are planning to have children. It's also important to know that these statistics approximately can vary depending on the specific population study. Just like I stated earlier, genetic factors, historical migration pattern, and regional prevalence of malaria contribute to the very rates of sickle cell in different populations. This is recommended to consult with local healthcare professionals and genetic counselors for more specific prevalence data in a particular region or community. So in a nutshell, being a sickle cell warrior has taught me very valuable lessons about prevalence, resilience, and the power of the human spirit. I hope that my story has inspired you all to keep fighting, no matter what the challenge is in life, whatever it is, whatever challenges life may throw your way, you have to keep pushing. Thank you for watching. God bless. Thank you. Kindly share, like, and subscribe, as this means a lot to you. In the picture at the corner of the screen, it's me with my quadripod standing. You can reach us on the numbers on the screen, 081-4323-5947 or 08063092135. Thank you for listening. And I am Mr. Patrick Eneche, a sickle cell warrior. Sickle cell, I repeat, is not a death sentence. Thank you and have a wonderful time.